Hey everyone, this is Whitney, Program Ambassador of Mindset to Money, and I am a member on the road to financial autonomy in 5 years or less, just like everyone else in the Mindset to Money community. And I am so excited for today's video because I just bought a business from our featured expert, Ernest Epps, that should generate a minimum of $5,000 of automated recurring net income every single month. The Mindset to Money founders, Thomas and Danielle, separately bought one for themselves as well, and that one should bring in a minimum of $7,000 of net income for them monthly. And the best part, we don't have to manage anyone or anything. These online businesses are 100% done for us and run for us by a company run by the man that I am lucky enough to be interviewing today. Ernest is an international speaker and CEO of High Ticket E-commerce Secrets, and he's hosting a masterclass for the Mindset to Money community on how to buy an income stream and purchase your retirement by acquiring a high ticket, automated, 100% run for you e-commerce business in recession-proof niches. Ernest, it is so good to talk to you again. Thank you again for agreeing to host this masterclass for us.
Man, I am absolutely spectacular and super fired up about the conversation and things that we're going to go through and flow through, and just really pumped up to just make a massive impact on those that are participating in this new event that we're going to be putting together, right? So definitely really excited.
Awesome. I love your energy. All right, so Ernest, for years now, you've been getting flown all over the world to train thousands of people on this topic. But there's always a start to your story. So can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how and when you got into this industry?
Yeah, so personally for me, I got into the world of e-com as a result of getting fired from my dream job. Literally, I was working in corporate America, and when I say my dream job, I mean it was to me like that was like the ultimate achievement in life, right? So I was a sales manager for a marketing firm, and I had overseen 77 locations for this marketing firm with a really massively large retail company. I won't say the name of the company, but they're the number one company in the world right now for most revenue generating company, right? So I'll leave that up to you guys to kind of research. But I had overseen 77 locations from them from South Carolina all the way up to Massachusetts. And I was making close to a six-figure income. I was in like my early mid-20s, and they were paying for my car, they were paying for my cell phone, they were paying for my gas. I had a company expense card. And so quite honestly, most of my checks was going straight into the bank, right? And so had you had asked me at that particular time when I was working there if I was deciding to work anywhere else, I would have told you absolutely not. I thought I was going to be the CEO of that company. I thought I was going to be there for the next 40, 50, 100 years, right? And I got a phone call one day from my supervisor, and they told me I was getting restructured out of the new structure, right? So, some people like to say laid off, but, quite honestly, I got fired, right? Laid off is just a cute version. So, when that happened though, man, I mean, it broke me personally, mentally, spiritually, like everything. Cause, at the time, and I didn't realize this, but, the job was actually my identity. I mean, it was to the point where my first two kids, when they were born in the hospital, I was literally taking conference calls while, wifey's in labor, right? That's how much I was committed to the job, and almost as much as they didn't want to let me go during that time. And so, yeah, it was really challenging. And so I thought to myself, like, after that happened, like, man, I cannot put my hands or put my business or just put my life in the hands of someone else, right? Like I had to build a business, right? Like I just knew that just had to be the direction I needed to go because, up until that point for years, I was working for other people and helping them build their businesses. And it was just like, man, I need to find out something to do for myself. And I heard a quote from Warren Buffett that said, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you're going to have to work until you die. And so, I said to myself, well, Warren, I need to sign up for that sleeping money, right? So, that kind of brought me on the journey of getting into like the e-commerce world, to the point where it was just like, I thought three vehicles like real estate, stock market and e-com. And the greatest thing I saw with the e-commerce industry is the fact the amount of leverage that you have, right? Like you can literally get access to millions of products that you don't have to pay for up front. Like you don't have to pay for warehouse fees, storage fees, a bunch of different licenses, payroll tax, like, a whole bunch of stuff. And you could literally get started with just a couple $100, right? And so for me at the time, because I had gone through about 2 years prior to me launching my first online retail store, again, just kind of trying to figure stuff out. And I kind of fell into like a state of depression because a lot of stuff wasn't working really good and I wasn't really performing as a man for the house. And so, I ultimately did have to get another job temporarily because I went 2 years just trying to figure out business stuff. And then I ended up, having to get a job temporarily, but I knew that that was not where I was going to be at long term. And so that's when I reevaluated the different business models that were out here. I came across that Warren Buffett quote and I said, I just had to figure out, e-com specifically, running like an online retail store because it gave you that leverage and power that Warren talked about with being able to make that sleeping money. And also from what I experienced just in the business world, working with different brands and billion-dollar companies and stuff, seeing, well, more so on the employee side, obviously, but just seeing the internal business aspects of it, where I saw the leverage with e-com and dropshipping. Like you can't get that amount of leverage in any other business vehicle, hands down. So that's what made it so attractive to me. And I knew I just had to figure it out, like the leverage, the upfront costs, the amount of long-term success that you can create for yourself. And the biggest thing that I gather, again, hinging the fact that I wanted to put myself in a position to maximize what Warren had talked about, getting that sleeping money, right? Like, there's not a lot of things that get that sleeping money out here in these streets. So that's what got me ultimately immersed into the world of e-commerce and drop shipping and getting that sleeping money.
Wow, you have an amazing story. Okay, so this concept of buying an income stream with a run for you or a done for you online business blew my mind when Thomas first introduced this to me. It literally sounded too good to be true. So what you shared about all of this is exactly why Thomas, Danielle, and myself all separately bought one of these businesses in a box from you. And I am so excited that the whole Mindset to Money community, they now have an opportunity to hear and see what we did. And so can you just tell us what kind of online business people can buy from you that produces automated recurring monthly revenue like this?
So buying an income stream, right? Here's the scoop. So going through this whole process, and I've been in the e-commerce, drop shipping arena, and just generating sales online for like years, right? And I've been all over the world in multiple different countries, right? So from Thailand to New Zealand to Vietnam to London to Barcelona, to Poland to Paris, like so many different countries, Indonesia, right? All around the world. And I've been able to help people successfully build businesses across the entire globe, right? Even in the Philippines, right? Even third world countries, I've been able to help people build online stores and create massive success for themselves, right? And so, as I've gone through this journey of not only, consistently, regularly generating results for myself, but people wanted to have a blueprint for that, right? So we developed the blueprint. We created programs and courses and things of that nature to empower people. But then when we started realizing that, a lot of people were asking us like, hey, Ernest, I would love for you to help us build this stuff, right? And then that ascended to, hey, Ernest, like, I don't just want to build it. I would just rather buy it, right? So buy it meaning wanting to have something that could be really, truly, genuinely built like a real, true asset. Because the thing about myself and why a lot of companies fly me in around the world is that I develop systematic processes that will generate revenue and income. Like literally, I can walk into different venues and tell people I can guarantee that this will generate you more money, right? And have it not just from like lip service, but truly, genuinely, not only just mean it, but for a fact, walk into a room and be able to make that impact. So I got invited to recently speak in California. There was a lady in there that had documented helped get $4 billion in approved grants, right? There was another lady that was in there that is on the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies in the entire United States, right? Has done $1 million a day, has consistently done $1 million months. And there were strategies that I shared specifically at that event where both of them were even blown away at some of the concepts, and they're a lot further along than myself, right? But the only difference between me and them is just time and effort, right? Because I spent the last couple of years, rather than going and go chase a dollar bill, I have literally spent the last couple of years honing in the systems, honing in the team, honing in the processes that I know when I do ABC 1, 2, 3, that there's X amount of results on the other side of that. And there's not a lot of people, especially in the business world or coaching and consulting world, that can literally say without a doubt there's certain aspects of their business that they know when they do, there is without a doubt a guaranteed result on the other side of that. And let's say if things don't go the way that you want them to go, they are strategic enough to be able to mitigate the situation that's occurring and come up with an alternative solution to even get to that desired result, right? So back into the buying aspect of it, there were a lot of people that just said, hey, Ernest, I'd rather you just build this system for me. I don't really want to be hands-on because it's a lot of techie stuff. Because I'm going to be honest, right? When we see the people that's on the other side of the road, again, and it doesn't matter what the industry is. We can look at like Mark Zuckerberg, what Steve Jobs did, Sam Walton, the guys at Wayfair that built that into a multi-billion-dollar company. It doesn't matter the industry. There's a success system and process that is proven to help them be able to generate consistent volume, right? The challenge is that most of us will never have the ability to get close enough to someone at that caliber of success, but you would love to be able to experience it for yourself, right? And so we realized that there were people that didn't want to learn all the nuances because there's a lot that goes behind a super successful business. Again, we see those people, we see the accolades, we see the revenue, we see the success, but we don't realize on the back end of that, there is an immense amount of work that's involved, and there's an immense amount of processes that are involved, and there's an immense amount of effort that has to be involved, right? And so again, we realized that people just didn't want to have to, do all that stuff themselves, right? And so we kind of boiled down a lot of our operational systems on how we serve clients today to where you can build it or you can buy it, right? Build it, we can do a done for you option, meaning that we go along the process with you. But through that, we are building stuff. We're sharing with you how to be able to do the ins and outs of everything. So forth and so on, versus again, there's a specific segment, and you might be someone of this, like, hey man, like I'd rather just, make $5, $10, $15,000 a month, but I really don't want to learn about, Google Search Console or Bing Webmaster Tools or my customer lifetime value or improve my repeat customer rate or, all those different nuances like CPC, impression share, like, oh, I need to do a bid adjustment on this particular campaign. Like, again, there's a lot of stuff that goes into a search engine optimization, on-page SEO, meta tags, metadata, keyword tag. Like, there's a lot of stuff, right? So we look up, especially in the online space, we see all this success that someone may portray that they have versus like what really goes into it. That's what's different in what we bring to the marketplace globally is the fact that number one, I'm in the trenches leading from the front. So with the assets that I built, we just help people emulate and duplicate that. But we've also identified that the fact that there are some people that just don't want to be hands-on with all the nitty-gritty of the business, but yet they would love to actually own a true asset. When I say asset, this is a real tangible business because we go through all the processes from a legal perspective, a compliance perspective to make sure that we put you in a position to win. Thus, that's one of the core major differences about what we build. It may take a little bit longer, but the beauty about it is once the system is set up, once the system is established, and once the system is in a position to start going and flowing, it's going to put you in a position to get results. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this as I was kind of, going and flowing through what I was just talking about, but specifically I'm referring to having an online retail business, right? So not just some fly-by-night, website that's online, not just some, company that's just doing drop shipping, but building a true online retail store to the point where we actually go out and acquire the same exact contracts that Walmart, Home Depot, and Amazon have. So again, when I say like legitimate, real deal asset that we help you build, your asset is solidified through the fact that we are non-negotiable about making sure that we do everything with full compliancy, but more importantly, full credibility to be able to get approved for those caliber of contracts and agreements, right? So personally, like even myself, like I got an agreement with like Samsung, Panasonic, LG, right? Again, multi-billion-dollar companies, and I'm just little old Ernest, right? So yes, that is something that we help you do, especially and particularly when you're in the position of doing one of our run for you programs with your online retail store. So yeah, that's how we ended up putting that together, man. Super pumped up and excited. Especially because we got so many different success stories, and we look forward to helping you guys be our next success stories that we're able to talk about.
Me too. Okay, so now that we know that what type of the online businesses we're talking about here, there's specifically high ticket e-commerce websites focused on really specific niches. For these businesses in a box e-commerce sites that your company sets up for clients like Thomas, Danielle, and myself, how much do these websites typically generate on a monthly basis in gross and net revenue?
Yeah, so our Run For You programs, right, which is our Business in the Box and Traffic Academy program. Those are our two primary ones. And our minimum expectation, especially with the Business in the Box, that we develop or we're in the process of developing for Thomas and Danielle, there's a minimum $7,000 profit per month that we're guaranteeing that you're going to be able to generate after the duration of us running and managing the business for you for an entire year, right? So that's our flagship program. In gross revenue, you'll probably be doing about $30,000 to $40,000 a month in top line revenue, maybe a little bit more to 50. Just kind of depending upon the different products and stuff that we have listed on there and the average order value. But again, we put our backs against the wall to make sure that prior to handoff and exit of that particular business, that we're doing at least $7,000 a month profit. So the unique thing is, let's say after about, I got to pull my calculator here for you guys, so I can be accurate with these, right? So let's say after about 2 years of that business running and being active, because again, you could exit and sell the business afterwards, but the amazing thing is the fact that we're building all the systems, and then in addition to that, we're also building your team and SOPs, your standard operating procedures, right? So like for real, like Business in the Box, like we're literally building an entire business for you. So something definitely super phenomenal in the fact that you're having like a true asset. But what I was going to get to at valuation, right? So let's say for example, like post launch, you continue to run the business, have your VAs and stuff help manage the day to day of that and everything. Like conservatively on an annual basis, that would be a 2x multiple, and or up to, that's on the low end, very, very, very conservatively, right? So you're looking at $7,000 a month profit coming in every single year that you have the business up and operating, right? Most likely you'll probably be able to get closer to 10, maybe even 15, because like the only difference between that 7 and 10 to 15 is just the ability to be able to manage the relationships, optimize the ads, and continue to do more what's working, right? But obviously we're not going to be managing the business for 2 years. We just manage it for an entire year, put you in a position, got the cash flow running, team is managing everything, and then you're just basically sitting in the back, being able to collect the profits from that, right? So that's what we're looking at, like top line revenue and profit, but also again the ability to have a true tangible asset that actually has real value to it. So on the low end, you're looking at about 168,000 that you could sell the business for within the 2 years. So you got to remember, like $7,000 a month profit. Let's say you're doing that for a total of let's just say conservatively, we get the business launched and hitting that objective like 6 months, just being like real conservative. So you got 18 months of $7,000 a month coming in profit, right? Then if you decide to sell the business on the low end, you're looking at $168,000 that you can exit the business with, and that's a little over $250,000 profit that you're getting, right? But let's say hypothetically, you're able to put some other revenue generating activities in there, and or get a higher increased value because of like different strategies and things that you're able to infuse the business with. Again, it's not uncommon for a business to be able to have a 3x or 4x multiple, right? Like right now, you guys might not be even aware of this, but like there's companies that exit at like 15, 20x. like annual net profit, right? Like crazy. And actually do a little due diligence on this, right? A lot of people, most people, and that's what's so important about what we build for you, because we're building a real asset, right? Fulfillment is in place. SOPs are in place. Team is in place. And it's something that could be ran without you and globally. Like you don't have to physically be here or physically be at a particular area in the world when you operate this business. So you have a much higher ability to be able to exit when the business is structured this way. So do a little research on this, right? There's a company called the Dollar Shave Club, right? Most people have probably heard of that company before, right? So the Dollar Shave Club, they sold for $1 billion. Billion with the B, right? And they were actually break even. So they weren't even making like 7,000 profit. They were literally break even, like meaning that all the expenses that the company had to occur was making it to where they weren't even generating massive amounts of profit. They were break even after all the expenses of the company, and they sold for $1 billion, right? But that's a different conversation, because like when you start getting to scale, oftentimes your valuation isn't subject to your profitability on paper, right? So man, there's so much stuff that that you got to start learning in this game. But let's say you're able to get a 4x multiple, right? Like again, super conservative, not anything over the top. I'm not saying you're going to get $1 billion exit, nothing like that. Just a 4x multiple. Now you're looking at $336,000 profit, right? And this is just in 2 years, mind you, right? So just in 2 years, $336,000 profit plus the $126,000 that you made in profit. So now you're looking at $462,000, $500,000 of profit, PROFIT, right? That you're able to generate as a result of post just having the business set up, run, structured, the whole shebang, right? So again, that's one of the beauties I love about just having an online retail business, because it literally gives you, so many facets of, how it is that you want to run the business, right? So whether you want to build it to sell it, whether you want to build it to have it produce cash flow for you long term, whether you want to build it to have it produce cash flow for you short term, right? Like it gives you all the different facets. And then more importantly is that when the asset is built and structured correctly, every single 6 to 12 months, the valuation of the business increases, right? Now, I can't get into all the stuff dealing with like an exit, because it's quite a few things. But the number one thing you just need to understand is that first part with the fulfillment, systems, operations, people, processes, that's the first thing that goes into the ability to be able to sell a business, right? Second thing is obviously the compliancy and the legitimacy of how all those operations are being set up and handled, right? Which is why I structure things and teach the way that I do. Most people potentially might not like it, because it's like, oh, what do you mean I got to register a business? What do you mean I need a business phone number? What do you mean? Like, I'm like, because you don't know what you don't know. I know that YouTube guru that you listen to say that you don't need that, but they're a liar, right? Like, I mean, every single facet of how we operate, especially in particular, like any country, like as a business, there's compliancy that you have to have, right? So it's so crazy when people be saying stuff like that. They tell people to take shortcuts. I'm like, no, why shortcut the process? Because here's the thing: you do it right, you only got to do it once, and you don't have to do it again. The main business that I've been operating for the last 7 years that you guys are going to get an opportunity to take a look at has been consistently producing money year after year after year after year. That business has done millions of dollars, right? And it's literally ran on autopilot. I got a couple VAs that manage that. But again, it's not to say that just to be like a big shot or nothing like that. It's because the systems and processes and things that are in place that allow it to consistently generate revenue. Just like when you see all these other businesses out here, there's no difference than McDonald's that's in Virginia than it is that a McDonald's that's in Barcelona. How do I literally just was in Barcelona, Spain. Same exact system, same exact processes. 90% of the menu was exactly the same. They actually got a couple cool things on their menus that we don't have, right? But it's the same thing. Again, Apple opens a store in Virginia. Apple has a store that's in London. They have a store that's in Asia. Same exact products, and they deploy the same exact system that allow them to get the results. So if you look at the top 100 companies in the world, the reason why they consistently continue to are able to get the results is because they have internal systems and processes that's in place that allow them to consistently be able to generate that, right? So yeah.
Okay, this is amazing. So, what type of person is good for this kind of offer?
Yeah, so what type of person is good for this offer? I mean, literally, anyone that wants to be able to be in a position to make money while they sleep, so they don't have to work until they die, right? Being able to tap into a income stream that could be able to be generated, but not only just that, right? Because there's a lot of different things that you could do, but someone that's going to be able to like manage the entire process, someone that's going to be able to keep up with compliancy, someone that's going to be able to obviously be able to get the results on the other side of that. And like really a team and a company that truly genuinely has your back through all the different facets of, managing and operating and running a business. I was just talking with Thomas the other day, and he was asking about some different flows and different things like that. It's just like, hey, this compliance change, this compliance change, this compliance change, right? It's just like, hey, we have to re-engineer some of these systems now based off the scope of what's going on in the marketplace, as well as like, some even governmental laws that are even, being imposed upon different facets of, how a business is being conducted, right? So it's like, hey, if you don't have the ability to hire someone that could do marketing, operations, sales, customer service, hiring, onboarding, developing your SOPs, creating your procedures for fulfillment, finding legitimate brands to be able to build relationships with, learning about advertising, learning how to optimize your ads, learning how to scale, right? Like literally, there's just 12 jobs that it just talked about. Learning how to prep your business for exit, like learning about legal requirements and having an attorney, right? Like it's a lot of stuff. I was like, man, literally, legitimately, like 15 roles in the business that you, as someone who operates a business, have to inevitably put in place, right? And if you don't have the ability and or the knowledge, which most people don't have the knowledge across 15 different verticals in a business, is really challenging to be able to do that, right? So that's, again, one of the primary mechanisms of why so many people are excited about this. Like, and I didn't even touch base on some of the other things, like behind the scenes, like we're helping you build business credit. We're helping you tap into grants and funding, like so much crazy stuff. Like I'll get into more of that on the actual training itself. But holy moly, right? Like who's doing all that for you, right? And who's trustworthy? Who's someone that actually knows what they're doing? Who also, more importantly, has receipts, right? Because the amazing thing, again, why a lot of people and companies rock with me around the world is that you'll never hear anything leave my mouth that I don't have a receipt for, right? So it's really cool, being able to make the impact that we have, and why so many people are excited about buying an income stream, specifically with our high ticket ecom secrets system, because we got it dialed in and we consistently produce results, and more importantly, we have tons and tons and tons of success stories all around the globe.
Okay, so can you specifically tell us what you're going to be covering in your masterclass?
So, what the heck are we going to be covering on this masterclass? Listen, fam, this is something you absolutely cannot miss out on. And most likely, you probably have never met anyone that's going to be as clear, as real, and as transparent as what I'm going to be sharing with you. So, number one, I'm going to be walking you through literally my system that was developed to be able to, allow me to be able to retire within like my first year after I built my own online store, right? And more importantly, I'm going to actually walk you inside of like my business, my online ecom store, live, real deal Holyfield, no video, no recording. Like I'm actually going to be in my accounts, right? I'm going to share with you examples of other people, like from their live businesses that we've been able to help get results, right? And then more importantly, some of the other elements of the things that I talked about, really briefly as we've been going through this interview, with like, business credit and being able to get funding and resources, and helping you build out those profiles to make you attractive to lenders and financial institutes. Like personally, I've been able to build with traditional financial institutes over $2 million in business credit. And I have, some of the top business scores for your business credit profile, with not just your DMB, but your Experian business, your Equifax business, your SPSS business FICO score, like all of that stuff, right? And again, I'm not just going to be talking to you about fluff. Like I'm going to be personally inside of the accounts, right? Some of the grants that I've been approved for, I'm going to be inside of those accounts, actually showing you like what's up, giving you some insight, providing clarity, and then also, you're going to have the ability to ask questions, right? And again, because I'm actually physically there, like I said, like most people don't have the opportunity to really have someone that has been able to generate millions of dollars consistently and regularly, and more importantly, be fully transparent. Because like I said, I'm not going to be blocking anything out. I'm going to be inside of the accounts. You're going to be able to see a lot of public and private information. So my only ask is that obviously I trust Thomas and the community enough to know that no one's going to be trying to steal my information or nothing like that and do anything weird. So because oftentimes, like really on my side, like that's one of the primary reasons why you might not want to do that. But then also too, because when we get to like my ecom store and margins and stuff like that, dealing with suppliers, that's also private information that you're not allowed to actually publicly talk about per your contracts and agreements. Now, because we're in a private setting, and because again, I'm pretty cool and feel like in private settings that I'm able to offer that level of transparency, that it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But just don't be doing anything weird with the info, right? Because again, like I said, with some of these transactions, because most people would think it's absolutely crazy for someone to give you $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for a physical product that you're going to mail out to them from the supplier without ever having a conversation with them, or at least like just having and exchanging a couple emails, right? When they don't even know who the heck you are. But it's totally legitimately possible. And it's just, again, a system. So the number one thing that you just have to come with the mindset of is success is a system. You're going to be able to see quite a bit of my systems that I've been able to develop across multiple different verticals and facets running a successful business. And it's why we can consistently, continually get results no matter where people are around the world, right? One of my clients just came in here to the US from the UK. She took my system, implemented it over the UK, built a business that was doing over 200 grand a year in the UK. Came here doing my ecom wealth mastermind, was able to learn some other strategies that she had no idea, didn't even have the concept of funding and credit and being able to leverage that and get 0% no interest from financial institutes, that they would literally give you their money with no interest associated to it up to 2 years. And I got plays on how to be able to extend that to 4 years, right? Or honestly, as far out as like 10. So it's crazy, right? Like, yes, like that is for real, like stuff that can happen. So that's what makes us like really unique. Like we bring in all the facets of what it truly takes to run a successful business, again, across multiple different niches and verticals in the e-commerce space. And we've been able to master that. So we're going to give you behind the scenes look of what that looks like, cover some of the flows and processes that if you want to take some of the material that we cover, you can go implement that as early as this upcoming week. And more importantly, just for life, like your life is never going to be the same after this, because I'm going to be peeling back a lot of stuff. I mean, man, I invested so much, probably easily $100,000 into the stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you, easily, right? Just to getting myself educated in all these different facets, and you're going to be getting that literally on a silver platter, just at the ability to be a part of this community, and the fact that Thomas and the gang loves you guys, right? So yeah, I mean, don't miss it. Put it in your calendar. I would do whatever you can, because this is just a one-time opportunity to be able to be a part of something of this capacity, and don't miss out. All right, see you on the inside.
All right, so I want you guys to go ahead right now and check out the information on this page on how to sign up for this masterclass. This is definitely one you guys don't want to miss. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.